how Buddhism teaches you to create good luck every day. The concept of luck has fascinated humanity for centuries. We often speak of people as being lucky or unlucky, as if fortune were some external force that arbitrarily blesses or curses individuals. Yet Buddhism offers a profoundly different perspective, one that dismantles the illusion of randomness and teaches us that what we call luck is in fact the natural result of inner harmony, awareness, and right action. In Buddhist philosophy, luck is not something that happens to us, but something that we create through our state of being. Every thought, every intention, every word, and every action sets into motion energies that ripple through our lives and the universe around us. This is the essence of karma, not as punishment or reward, but as a mirror reflecting the vibrations we project. When your mind is calm, your actions mindful, and your heart aligned with compassion and truth, you begin to flow with the rhythm of life. And in that flow, events seem to go your way. Opportunities arise, people appear at the right time, solutions unfold effortlessly. To the untrained eye, it looks like luck. To the awakened mind, it is simply the natural consequence of alignment with the Dharma, the universal order that governs existence. In this journey, we will explore how Buddhism teaches us to create good luck every day, not through superstition or ritual, but through wisdom, balance, and conscious living. We will dive into the 5 fundamental principles that transform ordinary moments into gateways of abundance and joy. Let us begin with the first, understanding the true source of luck within yourself. The true source of luck lies in your inner state. Luck, as most people understand it, seems to come from the outside, from coincidences, opportunities, or chance encounters that lead to favorable outcomes. But according to Buddhist wisdom, the external world is a reflection of our inner world. Everything begins with the mind. The Buddha said, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought." This teaching reveals a hidden law of existence. Your mental state shapes your reality. When your thoughts are clouded by fear, desire, or anxiety, you emit vibrations of imbalance. Those vibrations ripple into your environment, influencing the kinds of experiences you attract. On the other hand, when your mind is centered, peaceful, and compassionate, you align with the energy of harmony, and harmony attracts harmony. In this sense, good luck is the natural consequence of an awakened state of mind. It is not about manipulating fate, but about harmonizing your consciousness with the universal flow. When you cultivate mindfulness, gratitude, and equanimity, you stop resisting life. You stop pushing against what is and start moving with it. That subtle shift transforms the way the world responds to you. The mirror of karma is often misunderstood as some cosmic system of reward and punishment. In truth, karma is simply cause and effect, the energetic imprint of your choices. Every action arises from a mental state, and every mental state carries a frequency. If your inner world is filled with negativity, you project those vibrations outward, and they inevitably return in the form of difficult experiences. But if your thoughts and intentions come from clarity and compassion, you plant the seeds of peace. Over time, these seeds bloom into what we call good fortune. The world begins to mirror your internal serenity. You encounter people who uplift you, doors open when you least expect, and the right circumstances appear seemingly out of nowhere. What changed? Not the world itself, but the lens through which you perceive and interact with it. By purifying the mind, you change your relationship to existence, and existence responds accordingly. The power of non-resistance. A key aspect of creating luck is learning to live without resistance. Most people spend their lives fighting against what is, complaining about situations, resenting others, fearing change. This resistance blocks the natural flow of energy, creating tension and stagnation. Buddhism teaches the art of acceptance, not passive resignation, but conscious surrender to the present moment. When you stop labeling experiences as good or bad and instead approach them with awareness, you begin to see how everything unfolds for your growth. Even apparent misfortunes become stepping stones toward awakening. When you release resistance, you open yourself to synchronicity. You start noticing how the universe moves in mysterious yet intelligent ways to guide you. It may not always align with your preferences, but it always serves your evolution. In that openness, life begins to cooperate with you, and that cooperation is what many people call luck. Inner calm as a magnet for fortune. Imagine a still lake reflecting the sky above. When the water is calm, it mirrors the beauty of the heavens perfectly. When it is disturbed, everything appears distorted. Your mind functions the same way. A calm mind reflects reality clearly, allowing you to make wise decisions, perceive opportunities, and respond with grace. The restless mind, however, distorts perception. It acts impulsively, reacts emotionally, and overlooks the subtle cues that lead to favorable outcomes. Many people miss their luck simply because they are too agitated to recognize it. Through meditation and mindfulness, you train your mind to become still. In that stillness, intuition awakens. You start sensing the right moment to act, the right person to trust, the right path to follow. This intuitive alignment with life's rhythm is the essence of what the Buddha called right understanding and right action. As this harmony deepens, luck ceases to be a matter of chance. It becomes a byproduct of wisdom. You no longer chase fortune. You embody it, the circle of intention and reality. Your intentions shape the direction of your energy. When your intentions are pure, when they arise from compassion, purpose, and authenticity, the universe aligns to support them. This is not mystical thinking. It is the subtle science of consciousness. Each morning, when you set an intention to live with awareness and kindness, you send out a powerful signal to existence. That signal draws experiences that resonate with your frequency. Over time, you start to live in what feels like a field of coincidences, except that nothing is coincidental. The Buddha taught that the outer world is the manifestation of countless inner causes. To create good luck daily, you must cultivate inner causes that generate harmony, clarity, and goodwill. This is why monks begin their day in meditation and gratitude. They are not praying for luck, they are creating it by aligning their consciousness with the timeless rhythm of life. When you understand this, you no longer envy others' good fortune. You realize that you, too, possess the same creative power. Every thought, every breath, every mindful moment contributes to the invisible architecture of your destiny. If you're finding wisdom and inspiration in these teachings, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you'll continue to receive profound lessons that nourish your mind, uplift your soul, and help you create the life you truly deserve. The law of cause and effect. How karma creates everyday fortune. Everything in the universe follows the rhythm of cause and effect. Every action, every thought, and every word carries an energy that continues long after the moment it is created. Buddhism teaches that nothing happens by chance. Everything is the result of causes and conditions that have been set in motion over time. The modern world calls it coincidence or luck, but the awakened mind understands that what we experience today is the fruit of countless past seeds we have planted, seeds of intention, emotion, and awareness. The law of karma is not a moral code imposed from outside. It is an exact reflection of the harmony or disharmony we generate within ourselves and project into the world. To understand how karma creates what people call luck, we must first recognize how it operates in the most ordinary moments of our daily life. When we wake in the morning and direct our first thoughts toward gratitude or complaint, we are already setting the tone for our day. If our mind is filled with resentment, fear, or worry, we begin to move through the world with a vibration of resistance. We interpret neutral events as threats. We close ourselves off from others, and we unconsciously attract more situations that reinforce our negativity. But when we begin with awareness, when we breathe deeply and open our hearts to appreciation for simply being alive, our perception changes. Gratitude becomes the cause, and the effect is a day that seems to flow more easily, with unexpected moments of support and kindness appearing when we need them. What we call luck is often just the visible side of an invisible harmony that we ourselves have created through the quality of our consciousness. The Buddha often emphasized that intention is everything. What determines the karmic weight of an action is not merely what we do, but why and how we do it. If we act with greed, even in small things, that energy creates inner contraction. The mind becomes narrow, defensive, and anxious, and this energy radiates outward, influencing how others respond to us and how events unfold. Conversely, when we act with generosity, even in small gestures like a smile or a kind word, we expand. That expansion allows the universe to flow through us. People sense our openness and respond to it. Opportunities arise naturally, and synchronicities begin to appear. Many people live under the illusion that luck is bestowed upon them by some external force, perhaps destiny, divine favor, or simple randomness. But Buddhism invites us to look deeper. When we observe the chain of causes and effects that create each moment, we see that life is a tapestry woven from countless interdependent threads. Every time we think, speak, or act, we pull one of these threads, subtly reshaping the fabric of our experience. If the threads we pull are woven from mindfulness and compassion, the tapestry becomes harmonious and bright. If we act from confusion or hatred, it becomes tangled and dark. To live with awareness of karma is to take responsibility for our energy. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the practitioner asks, "What am I creating through my thoughts and actions right now?" This shift from victimhood to mastery transforms one's entire life. It reveals that fortune is not something to wait for. It is something to cultivate moment by moment. When you plant good seeds through right intention, they will inevitably bear fruit. Sometimes the fruit comes quickly, other times it takes years or even lifetimes. But the law is unwavering. Causes will always produce their corresponding effects. Consider a farmer who carefully tends his soil. He waters, nourishes, and protects his crops from harm. He cannot control the weather, but his effort and attention ensure that when conditions are favorable, his field will flourish. The same principle applies to karma. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control how you prepare your inner field, your mind, your heart, your intentions. When your inner field is rich with virtue, patience, and love, the rain of opportunity will always nourish your growth. Karma is subtle because it operates not only in visible actions, but also in the unseen realm of thoughts and emotions. You might appear calm on the surface, but harbor anger or jealousy within. These inner states radiate energy that others can feel, even if unconsciously. Over time, such vibrations attract corresponding experiences. The more you cling to negativity, the more life reflects that back to you. But if you train your heart to release harmful emotions and cultivate understanding, you gradually purify your karmic field. This purification is the true source of good fortune. It is the silent magnet that draws harmony into your life. In daily life, this means practicing mindfulness in every small action. When you eat, do you do it with gratitude or distraction? When you speak, are your words kind or careless? When you work, do you offer your effort with joy or resentment? Each moment contains the seed of a new cause, and that cause will eventually become your experience. To live consciously is to recognize the immense power hidden in each ordinary moment. The one who lives with awareness turns every gesture into an act of creation. A mind that understands karma does not seek shortcuts or instant results. It trusts the process of the universe. The Buddha compared karma to the echo of sound. It may take time, but it always returns. When you live rightly, your heart becomes light. You stop fearing the future because you know that your causes are pure. You no longer chase luck. You attract it naturally because your energy resonates with the flow of life. The anxiety of control dissolves, replaced by calm confidence in the unseen order that sustains everything. In the modern world, people often look for external formulas to become lucky: affirmations, rituals, charms, or lucky numbers. But these are superficial substitutes for the real transformation that must occur within. True luck is not about manipulating reality, but about aligning with it. When your inner state is aligned with truth, even apparent setbacks serve your higher purpose. What seems like misfortune becomes hidden grace. The loss of a job might lead you to your calling. The end of a relationship might teach you compassion and self-reliance. From the karmic perspective, nothing is wasted. Every event contributes to your awakening if you meet it with awareness. The law of cause and effect also explains why comparison is useless. We often look at others who seem luckier and wonder why our life doesn't unfold the same way. But their present circumstances are the results of their unique chain of causes, just as yours are the reflection of your own. Comparing your karma to another's is like comparing two rivers. Each flows according to its source, its bends, and its obstacles. The wise person focuses on purifying their own current rather than envying another's. One of the most liberating realizations in Buddhism is that karma is not fixed. Though past causes may shape present circumstances, every moment offers a chance to plant new seeds. You are not bound by yesterday's ignorance if you choose awareness today. This is the power of mindfulness. It interrupts the automatic patterns that perpetuate suffering and replaces them with conscious choice. Each breath, each step, each thought can create new karma, new causes that lead to brighter effects. This truth is what makes life profoundly hopeful. No matter how many mistakes you've made or how much misfortune you've endured, the present moment is always fresh. The Buddha said, "Drop by drop, the water pot is filled." Likewise, each act of kindness, each moment of gratitude, each breath of awareness fills the vessel of your karma with purity. Eventually, it overflows into abundance. Karma also teaches patience. The world moves in cycles, and the seeds of good fortune may take time to sprout. When you plant a tree, you do not dig it up each day to see if it has grown. You water it faithfully and trust the process. In the same way, when you live ethically and mindfully, you may not see immediate results, but you trust that the law of the universe never fails. Faith in this unseen process gives peace to the heart. It frees you from the restless need for immediate gratification, allowing you to live with quiet strength. Another aspect of karma that creates luck is the way it shapes perception. When your mind is clouded by ignorance, you fail to notice opportunities even when they are before you. But when your mind is clear, you recognize openings and connections that others miss. A fortunate life is often a matter of perception, seeing doors where others see walls, recognizing blessings where others see burdens. The clear mind sees opportunity in imperfection and harmony in chaos. This is why mindfulness is not just a spiritual practice, but a practical tool for success. Think of those moments in your life when everything seemed to click, when events aligned effortlessly, and people appeared at the perfect time. In such moments, you were likely in a state of openness and flow. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions were in sync with your surroundings. This harmony between inner and outer worlds is the visible expression of good karma ripening. It feels magical, but it is simply the universe responding to coherence. The more you cultivate coherence through awareness, compassion, and integrity, the more frequently such moments occur. In contrast, when you act from confusion, deceit, or selfishness, you disrupt that coherence. You might achieve short-term gains, but eventually the imbalance returns as difficulty or loss. Karma does not punish, it restores balance. It ensures that the lessons you need will return until you understand them. Thus, apparent bad luck is not a curse, but a teacher. It shows you where your energy is misaligned, where your causes have gone astray. The wise person learns from these signals instead of complaining about them. When we examine the lives of those who seem perpetually lucky, we often find that they embody certain qualities: generosity, humility, patience, positivity. These qualities are not random. They are the energetic causes of harmony. A generous person naturally attracts support because generosity expands energy rather than constricting it. A humble person learns quickly because they are open to correction, and this openness leads to growth. A patient person acts with timing and discernment, avoiding the mistakes born of haste. Together, these traits generate a field of good karma that inevitably manifests as good fortune. Karma also operates collectively. The energy of a community, family, or nation is the accumulation of countless individual intentions. When a society values compassion, cooperation, and respect for life, it flourishes. When it is driven by greed or hatred, it decays. The same principle applies to your relationships. When you treat others with sincerity and care, you create invisible currents of goodwill that return to you in unexpected ways. Sometimes the effect is immediate. A smile returned, a helping hand offered. Other times it comes much later, from people you've never met, through circumstances you could never have planned. To create good luck every day, you must live with awareness of this invisible web of interdependence. Every morning is an opportunity to renew your karma, to sow seeds of virtue and presence. Start your day with a clear intention, to act with kindness, to speak with truth, to think with compassion. Throughout the day, notice when you fall into negativity or judgment, and gently bring your mind back to awareness. In doing so, you constantly redirect your energy toward alignment with the Dharma. That alignment is the most powerful generator of good fortune you will ever know. Buddhism also teaches the practice of right effort. This means channeling your energy toward wholesome states and away from unwholesome ones. It's not enough to wish for luck. You must actively cultivate the causes that lead to it. When irritation arises, transform it into patience. When fear appears, meet it with courage. When greed tempts you, practice generosity. Each time you do this, you weaken the roots of suffering and strengthen the roots of wisdom. The cumulative effect of these small victories is immense. Over time, your karma becomes luminous, and life begins to reflect that luminosity in countless forms: health, harmony, prosperity, peace. The ultimate understanding of karma reveals that there is no separation between you and the universe. Every act you perform toward another is also performed toward yourself, because at the deepest level there is no other. To harm is to harm oneself. To bless is to bless oneself. This realization transforms your relationship with life. Compassion becomes natural because you see that every gesture of love you offer expands your own being. The fortunate person is simply one who lives in constant awareness of this unity. Even in meditation, the principle of karma is at work. When you sit in stillness and observe your breath, you are planting seeds of peace. Those seeds influence your thoughts, which in turn influence your words and actions. Over time, this creates a ripple of serenity that extends far beyond you. People feel calmer around you. Situations unfold with less friction. What appears as external luck is actually the blossoming of your internal discipline. Thus, the path to creating good luck is not about control, but about alignment. You cannot dictate the exact form that blessings will take, but you can ensure that your energy remains harmonious with the universal law. When you are in harmony, even unpredictable events benefit you. You may face challenges, but they strengthen rather than break you. You may experience loss, but it leads you to greater wisdom. This is the difference between the unawakened and the awakened. The former sees randomness, the latter sees law. When you truly grasp the law of cause and effect, your fear of misfortune disappears. You understand that nothing can come to you that you have not, in some way, invited. And because you know you can always plant new seeds, you never feel powerless. You become the artist of your destiny, shaping your experience through the quality of your consciousness. Each day, as you move through life, imagine that you are writing invisible letters to the universe with every thought and deed. The universe reads these letters not through language, but through vibration. When your vibration is one of love, sincerity, and clarity, the reply always comes back as good fortune. It may not look like what you expected, but it will always carry the signature of grace. To live by this understanding is to live freely. You no longer depend on chance, on the whims of fate, or on the approval of others. You become self-sustaining in your happiness because your joy arises from within, not from circumstances. And that inner joy radiates outward, attracting people and events that mirror it. In the end, karma teaches us that luck is not something to pursue, it is something to become. When your heart is pure, your actions mindful, and your intentions noble, you embody the very frequency of good fortune. You are no longer waiting for life to bless you, you are blessing life itself with every breath. If you found value in these reflections and wish to continue discovering the timeless wisdom that can transform your mind and reality, take a moment now to subscribe to the channel. Join a community dedicated to inner growth and awakening, and keep walking the path toward a life where luck is not an accident, but a conscious creation. Mindfulness as the foundation of everyday fortune. To understand how Buddhism teaches us to create good luck every day, we must return to the essence of its practice, mindfulness. In Buddhist philosophy, mindfulness is not merely a technique for relaxation. It is the gateway to wisdom, awareness, and alignment with the natural order of existence. The Buddha called it sati, the art of being fully present, of seeing things as they truly are. This state of presence is not passive. It is alive, attentive, and transformative. It changes how you perceive, respond, and interact with every aspect of life. When mindfulness becomes the foundation of your being, luck ceases to be an external force. It becomes the spontaneous harmony between your consciousness and the universe itself. Imagine living a day in full awareness. You wake with gratitude instead of haste. Breathe consciously and approach each moment with curiosity rather than resistance. You listen when others speak. You notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, the subtle emotions that arise and pass like clouds in the sky. You are here, not lost in yesterday or chasing tomorrow. This simple act of being present reshapes the entire structure of your life, because when you are truly present, you act with clarity. You see opportunities others overlook, sense danger before it unfolds, and make decisions that align with the deeper current of life. Mindfulness transforms randomness into coherence. It turns coincidence into connection. When your attention is scattered, life feels chaotic. You rush from one task to another, driven by unconscious impulses and external pressures. In this state of distraction, you make mistakes, misinterpret situations, and react emotionally rather than wisely. This leads to a chain of causes and effects that manifest as bad luck. You forget things, offend others unintentionally, miss subtle cues that could lead to success. But mindfulness restores order. It is the art of pausing long enough to see reality before acting. And in that pause lies the difference between confusion and insight, between misfortune and opportunity. In Buddhism, mindfulness is inseparable from compassion. Awareness alone is not enough. It must be guided by kindness. When you observe your thoughts without judgment and extend that same gentleness to others, your energy softens. People feel safe around you, drawn to your calm presence. This attraction is not mystical. It is natural. Energy seeks balance. When your presence radiates peace, others instinctively respond with cooperation, generosity, and trust. These are the invisible threads that weave together what the world calls good fortune. Mindfulness also teaches you to recognize impermanence, the constant flow of change that defines existence. Most suffering arises from the refusal to accept this truth. We cling to what we want, resist what we fear, and become blind to the subtle dance of beginnings and endings. But when you are mindful, you begin to see that nothing is permanent, not pain, not joy, not success, not failure. You learn to ride the waves of life with grace instead of being crushed by them. This equanimity opens the door to luck because it allows you to respond to change with flexibility rather than panic. Opportunities arise for those who can adapt, and mindfulness gives you that fluidity of being. Another profound aspect of mindfulness is its ability to dissolve the illusion of separation. In your ordinary, unawakened state, you experience yourself as a separate entity moving through a hostile world. This creates anxiety and defensiveness. You believe you must fight, manipulate, or compete to get what you want. But as you become more mindful, you begin to perceive the interconnection of all things. You see how your thoughts affect your body, how your emotions influence your relationships, how your choices ripple outward into the lives of others. This realization is not intellectual. It is felt directly through awareness. And once you feel it, compassion arises naturally because harming another feels like harming yourself. This interconnected awareness is what transforms mindfulness into a generator of good fortune. When you understand that everything is interdependent, you naturally cultivate actions that support harmony. You stop taking more than you need. You speak truthfully, you act kindly, and these causes create effects that return to you in beautiful ways. You build relationships rooted in sincerity, you gain trust, and the universe itself seems to cooperate with your intentions. This is the essence of right mindfulness as part of the Noble Eightfold Path, the cultivation of awareness that leads to understanding, right action, and inner peace. Mindfulness is also the antidote to fear. Most people live in a constant state of tension, worrying about what might happen next. They try to control life through planning, calculation, and anxiety. But the present moment is the only place where life truly unfolds. The past no longer exists. The future is only a projection of the mind. When you anchor yourself in the now, fear loses its grip. You realize that right here, in this breath, you are safe. From this grounded presence, you make decisions not from panic but from wisdom. This subtle shift transforms the outcomes of your actions. You move through life with calm confidence, and that energy attracts support rather than obstacles. In the modern world, mindfulness has often been reduced to a relaxation exercise or a productivity hack, but in Buddhism, it is a sacred practice, a way to awaken the mind to reality as it is. The truly mindful person does not seek to control life. They seek to see it. This seeing is transformative. It reveals the hidden order beneath apparent chaos, the beauty within suffering, the opportunity within challenge. And because your perception creates your experience, when your perception is purified through mindfulness, your life naturally begins to align with harmony. What appears as luck is simply clarity in motion. Mindfulness also reveals the subtle energy of intention before it hardens into action. For example, when anger arises, the mindful person notices it in its earliest form, a tightening in the chest, a surge of heat, a quickening of thought. By observing it with awareness, they prevent it from taking over. Without mindfulness, anger controls you, leading to words or actions you later regret. Those actions create karmic consequences. Broken trust, conflict, misunderstanding. The mindful person interrupts this chain. They transform the energy of anger into understanding. The effect of that choice is peace, both internal and external. Over time, these small moments of awareness accumulate, creating an invisible reservoir of good karma that manifests as smoothness and flow in daily life. This is how mindfulness turns into good luck. It keeps you from creating unnecessary suffering. Most bad luck is self-created through unconscious choices. When you act without awareness, you plant seeds of confusion. When you act with mindfulness, you plant seeds of harmony, and harmony attracts harmony. Another key aspect of mindfulness is gratitude. True awareness naturally leads to appreciation, because the more deeply you see, the more you recognize how much you are already given. Each breath, each sunrise, each opportunity to learn becomes sacred. Gratitude changes your vibration. It expands your energy field and aligns it with abundance. When you are grateful, you are no longer focused on what is missing. You are focused on what is present. This shift in attention opens your perception to possibilities that were always there, but hidden behind dissatisfaction. Opportunities seem to appear not because the world has changed, but because you are finally able to see them. Mindfulness also transforms the way you handle adversity. The unmindful person resists pain, amplifies it with thoughts of injustice or self-pity, and becomes trapped in a cycle of suffering. The mindful person accepts pain as part of the human experience. They observe it with curiosity, breathe through it, and discover that beneath every discomfort lies a lesson. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What is this teaching me?" That question alone changes everything. It turns obstacles into teachers, mistakes into wisdom, endings into beginnings. Over time, this attitude makes you unshakable. Life still changes, but you remain balanced within it. And that balance, once again, looks to others like extraordinary luck. To cultivate mindfulness, the Buddha prescribed meditation, not as an escape from the world, but as a training ground for awareness. When you sit quietly and focus on your breath, you begin to notice the restlessness of your mind. Thoughts arise and pass. Emotions come and go, and in watching them, you realize that you are not those movements. You are the awareness behind them. This insight creates space between stimulus and response. In that space lies freedom. You stop being a puppet of your habits and begin to act from conscious choice. The ripple effects of this freedom are immense. A mindful mind communicates more clearly, works more effectively, and loves more deeply. It sees life as interconnected rather than fragmented. Such a person naturally draws cooperation instead of conflict, trust instead of suspicion. Their calm presence influences the energy of any room they enter. They do not need to force outcomes because their very state of being invites harmony. This effortless magnetism is what ancient teachers meant by the blessings of mindfulness. Mindfulness also refines your intuition. When the noise of your thoughts quiets, you begin to sense subtle guidance, a quiet knowing that arises from stillness. This intuition is not magical. It is the natural intelligence of consciousness when it is unobstructed by fear or desire. It helps you sense when to act and when to wait, whom to trust and whom to avoid. It guides you toward alignment with your path. Acting from this intuitive clarity often leads to outcomes that others describe as lucky coincidences, but to you, they feel like flow, the universe moving through you rather than against you. The practice of mindfulness also reveals that small actions carry immense power. The way you greet someone, the attention you give while eating, the care with which you perform your work, all these moments are opportunities to generate good karma. Mindfulness transforms the ordinary into the sacred. It brings consciousness to the unnoticed spaces of life, infusing them with presence and love. Over time, this attention to detail accumulates as an invisible wealth of merit. Your life becomes rich, not through possessions, but through presence. You begin to experience contentment independent of circumstance, and that inner contentment attracts outer harmony. As mindfulness deepens, your relationship with time changes. You stop chasing the future or replaying the past. Each moment becomes complete in itself. You understand that the present is not a stepping stone to somewhere else. It is the only reality that truly exists. Living fully in the now dissolves the anxiety that blocks abundance. When you are fully here, you respond to life's invitations instantly and gracefully. Opportunities no longer slip by unnoticed because you are awake to them. What the world calls being in the right place at the right time is simply the natural consequence of living in the eternal present. Furthermore, mindfulness aligns you with the universal rhythm of cause and effect. When you act mindfully, you act in harmony with natural law. This harmony ensures that even your smallest efforts yield the greatest results. The unmindful person exerts much energy with little return because their actions are disconnected from awareness. The mindful person acts with precision and alignment. Their actions are few but powerful, guided by the wisdom of the present. This is why great masters often achieve much while appearing to do little. Their power lies not in effort but in awareness. Mindfulness also heals your relationship with yourself. Most people live in conflict with their own minds, criticizing, judging, or trying to escape themselves. But mindfulness invites self-compassion. It teaches you to observe your imperfections without hatred, to accept your humanity with tenderness. This acceptance dissolves inner tension, freeing energy that was once trapped in self-rejection. When you are at peace with yourself, the outer world reflects that peace. People respond to your authenticity, doors open, and synchronicities multiply. The universe mirrors the love you have learned to give yourself. Even the way you speak becomes a tool of creation when guided by mindfulness. Words carry vibration. When you speak with awareness, slowly, truthfully, and kindly, your words plant seeds in the minds of others. Those seeds may bloom into opportunities, friendships, and blessings you could never predict. Unmindful speech, on the other hand, creates confusion and conflict. The mindful person understands that every sound they release shapes reality. By speaking consciously, they shape a life of harmony. Ultimately, mindfulness reveals that good luck is not something you wait for. It is something you live. Every moment of awareness is a stroke of grace, a meeting point between your inner clarity and the intelligence of the universe. The more present you become, the more you realize that life has always been conspiring in your favor. It was your absence that made it seem otherwise. When you return to the present, you return to the flow of blessings that have never ceased to surround you. To practice mindfulness is to align with truth itself. It is to awaken from the dream of separation and recognize that everything you seek, peace, abundance, love, already exists within this breath, this step, this heartbeat. From that realization, every action becomes sacred, every encounter meaningful, every outcome perfect in its timing. The one who lives in such awareness is perpetually fortunate because they no longer measure life by gain or loss, but by presence. In this way, mindfulness becomes the foundation of everyday fortune. It transforms the mundane into the miraculous and reveals that the true secret of luck is not in changing the world, but in awakening within it. To be mindful is to be in tune with the music of existence. And those who move in rhythm with that music find that life itself becomes a dance of effortless grace. If these teachings resonate with your heart, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Continue walking this path of awareness, where each breath brings wisdom, each step creates harmony, and every day becomes an opportunity to generate your own good fortune from the peace within. Compassion, generosity, and the flow of prosperity. When the Buddha spoke about the path to awakening, he never separated wisdom from compassion. They are like two wings of the same bird. Without one, you cannot truly rise. Wisdom reveals the truth of interconnection. Compassion acts upon it. Generosity is compassion in motion, the living expression of love that has understood its unity with all beings. To create good luck every day, Buddhism teaches that one must enter the flow of giving, not as a moral duty, but as a natural law of energy. The universe operates on circulation. Breath flows in and out. Rivers flow toward the sea. Seasons rotate in endless rhythm. When you align your life with this flow through acts of kindness and generosity, prosperity begins to circulate toward you in ways both visible and invisible. What the world calls luck is, in truth, the reflection of a heart open to give and receive freely. Generosity in Buddhism, known as dana, is the first of the 6 perfections, paramitas, because it softens the ego, the root of all suffering. The ego hoards, fearing loss. It clings to possessions, control, and recognition. Yet the more it clings, the more it feels empty, for attachment blocks the flow of life. The generous heart, however, trusts abundance. It knows that what is freely given returns multiplied, not because of superstition, but because of resonance. Energy given with joy vibrates through the web of existence, and in that vibration, other harmonies are awakened. When you give, you declare to the universe, "I have enough." That declaration creates a frequency of sufficiency that naturally attracts more. Buddhism never limits generosity to material giving. It includes the giving of time, attention, forgiveness, understanding, and even silence. Sometimes the greatest gift is simply to listen with full presence. In an age of distraction, true attention is rare, and those who offer it generate immense positive karma. When you approach the world with the attitude, "How can I serve?" rather than "What can I gain?" you shift from scarcity to abundance. Opportunities come, not because you chase them, but because people feel your sincerity and want to connect with you. Compassion magnetizes cooperation. Greed repels it. The practice of compassion begins with awareness of suffering. When you see another's pain, do not turn away or judge. Simply see it and let your heart respond naturally. Compassion is not pity. It is the recognition that their pain is also yours, that we are all fragments of the same being longing for wholeness. When this understanding deepens, helping others becomes instinctive. You no longer ask, "What will I get in return?" because you know that the act itself is the reward. The joy that arises from kindness is immediate, and it fills the heart with warmth that no material success can equal. This warmth, in turn, becomes your vibration. It radiates outward, influencing how people perceive and treat you. The compassionate person walks through life, surrounded by goodwill. Strangers assist them, friends remain loyal, and circumstances align in mysterious ways. It is not magic, it is resonance. Life mirrors the frequency you emit, and compassion is the highest of frequencies. The Buddha said, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal law." In the same way, misfortune cannot be transformed by fear or resentment, but only by the light of compassion that breaks the cycle of negativity. Generosity also dissolves one of the greatest obstacles to good fortune, attachment. Attachment creates fear, and fear blocks flow. When you're afraid to lose what you have, you unconsciously close the doors through which new blessings could enter. By practicing generosity, you train your heart to release control. You give not because you have excess, but because you trust life. That trust is the bridge between you and abundance. It sends a message to the universe that you are ready to receive more because you do not cling to less. Every act of giving plants seeds in the soil of karma. Sometimes the fruits appear quickly. A smile returned, a favor repaid, an opportunity arising from an unexpected direction. Other times they ripen slowly, manifesting in ways you could not predict. But the law remains. No genuine act of compassion is ever lost. It circulates through existence like a current, and eventually that current returns to you, often multiplied by the unseen hands of others. To live generously does not mean to give beyond your means or to sacrifice your well-being. It means to give wisely and joyfully from the overflow of your heart. When you act from genuine joy, your giving strengthens you rather than depletes you. The Buddha taught that the intention behind giving is what determines its karmic power. If you give out of guilt, obligation, or pride, the energy is distorted. But if you give from love and understanding, the act becomes pure. Such purity resonates through the fabric of existence, drawing new blessings into your life. Compassion and generosity are not limited to human relationships. They extend to all forms of life, to animals, to nature, to the very earth that sustains us. When you live with reverence for all beings, you align yourself with the natural intelligence of the universe. This alignment creates harmony and harmony is the soil from which luck grows. Modern humanity has forgotten this sacred reciprocity with nature, exploiting rather than collaborating. Yet every tradition that has touched enlightenment teaches the same truth. The more you give back to the world, the more the world gives back to you. Consider the difference between a stagnant pond and a flowing river. The pond hoards its water and soon becomes polluted. The river keeps moving, sharing its abundance, and remains fresh. Life is a river. When you allow energy, whether it be love, money, or creativity, to flow through you, you remain vibrant and abundant. When you block the flow through fear or greed, you begin to stagnate. To create good luck daily is to remain in motion, to keep circulating goodness, kindness, and gratitude so that existence continues to circulate blessings through you. One of the most profound ways compassion creates fortune is through its effect on perception. When you approach life with empathy, you stop seeing others as threats or competitors. You see them as companions on the journey. This dissolves the subtle tension that drives most human interaction. People sense your sincerity and respond with openness. Conflicts dissolve before they begin, and cooperation replaces competition. This harmony in relationships leads to opportunities, support, and peace, forms of good fortune far greater than mere material wealth. Buddhism also teaches the practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation, as a method to cultivate compassion. In this practice, you silently repeat phrases of goodwill first toward yourself, then toward others, and finally toward all beings. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Over time, this practice transforms the heart. It releases resentment, softens judgment, and creates an aura of benevolence around you. The energy you radiate becomes a beacon of peace. People are drawn to that energy naturally, bringing with them possibilities, friendship, and protection. Even those who once opposed you may soften in your presence, not through persuasion, but through the silent power of your compassion. Another dimension of generosity lies in forgiveness. To forgive is to free both yourself and the other from the prison of the past. Resentment is a heavy chain that binds your energy, preventing new blessings from entering. When you forgive, you cut that chain and restore the natural flow of life. Forgiveness does not mean approving harm. It means refusing to let pain define you. It is an act of supreme generosity, the giving of peace where there was conflict. Those who forgive live lighter, and that lightness attracts grace. In Buddhist terms, forgiveness purifies karma. It releases the weight of old causes, making room for new and harmonious ones to manifest. Compassion also brings clarity to desire. The unwise pursuit of wealth or success, driven by ego, often leads to suffering. But when your motivation arises from the wish to benefit others, your pursuit becomes sacred. A person who works not only for personal gain, but to uplift others, generates merit far beyond material profit. Their work becomes blessed because it is infused with intention. The universe supports such intentions because they serve the whole. This is why many people who live for service rather than self find that opportunities and resources come to them effortlessly. They are conduits for the flow of abundance, not barriers to it. Buddhist monks often say that a generous heart never starves. Even in the simplest monasteries, where possessions are few, monks live with contentment because their hearts are full. They rely on the generosity of others and return that generosity through teaching, prayer, and blessings. This reciprocal exchange creates a field of mutual support that sustains both giver and receiver. In daily life, the same principle applies. When you contribute value to the world through your kindness, honesty, and effort, life finds ways to sustain you. The energy you put forth returns through countless channels, sometimes through money, sometimes through love, sometimes through unexpected opportunities. To embody compassion also means to be gentle with yourself. Many people try to help others, but neglect their own well-being, creating imbalance. True compassion begins inwardly. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you care for your body, mind, and spirit, you replenish your capacity to serve. Self-compassion is not selfishness. It is wisdom. The Buddha himself taught the importance of the middle way, a path between indulgence and denial. When you live in balance, you radiate stability, and this stability attracts prosperity. People trust those who are centered. They feel safe in their presence. One of the hidden blessings of compassion is that it transforms your relationship with loss. When your happiness depends solely on possession, every loss feels like tragedy. But when you live to give, loss becomes part of the rhythm of life. You give and receive with equal grace. You see that even endings carry gifts, wisdom, humility, deeper love. The generous heart grieves, but it does not despair, for it knows that what truly belongs to it can never be taken away, the capacity to love. That inner wealth is indestructible, and it becomes the wellspring of unshakable fortune. Compassion also reshapes your energy field in ways science is only beginning to understand. Studies have shown that acts of kindness release chemicals that strengthen the immune system, calm the nervous system, and elevate mood. This biological harmony mirrors spiritual harmony. When your body, mind, and spirit vibrate with coherence, you attract similar coherence from the outer world. Opportunities for health, creativity, and joy appear as natural extensions of your inner state. The so-called lucky person is often simply one whose energy is balanced and radiant from within. When we look at those who seem perpetually blessed, we often discover that they live by certain principles of generosity. They help others without expectation, share their knowledge freely, and celebrate others' success rather than envy it. This attitude creates a magnetic field of goodwill around them. People want to collaborate with them, trust them, and support them. This is how compassion translates into tangible fortune. It opens doors that skill alone cannot. While others struggle against resistance, the compassionate person moves with ease because the world responds to their openness. Compassion, however, must be wise. Blind giving without discernment can lead to imbalance. True generosity comes from understanding what is genuinely helpful. Sometimes compassion requires saying no, setting boundaries, or allowing others to face the consequences of their actions. This is called skillful means, upaya. The wise practitioner gives not only from the heart, but also from insight. In this way, compassion becomes a force of clarity rather than sentimentality, and its effects are powerful and enduring. At the deepest level, compassion is not something you practice. It is what remains when illusion falls away. When the boundaries of self dissolve, when you realize that all beings share the same essence, compassion flows naturally as light flows from the sun. You do not have to force it. It becomes your nature. And when compassion becomes your nature, life aligns with you effortlessly. People call you lucky because everything seems to support you, but in truth, it is life recognizing itself through you. You are no longer separate from the flow of giving and receiving. You are the flow itself. The Buddha once said that if people knew the power of generosity as he did, they would never let a single meal pass without giving something. This is not merely poetic, it is practical. Every act of giving reinforces abundance consciousness. Each time you share, you affirm that the universe is infinite, that there is enough for everyone, that fear of lack is an illusion. Living in this truth changes how you move through the world. You no longer beg from life, you contribute to it. You no longer compete, you collaborate. You no longer chase fortune, you emanate it. The more compassion and generosity you cultivate, the more synchronized your life becomes. Events align in ways that defy logic. Help arrives just when you need it. Ideas appear at the right moment, and the right people cross your path. These synchronicities are the language of the universe, confirming that you are flowing in harmony with the greater whole. The ego calls it luck, but the awakened mind recognizes it as the reflection of inner abundance. To create good luck every day, therefore, is to live as a giver. It is to see every encounter as an opportunity to uplift, every challenge as a chance to love, every breath as a blessing to share. When you move through the world with this mindset, you participate in the sacred circulation of life. The energy you send out returns to you purified and multiplied, sustaining you in ways beyond measure. You realize that you have never truly lost anything. Everything you have given returns, transformed into peace, purpose, and prosperity. And so the secret is simple but profound. Open your heart, release your grip, and trust the flow. Let compassion guide your actions, let generosity be your language, and watch as life begins to mirror the beauty of your spirit. You do not need to chase fortune. You need only to become the channel through which fortune flows. If these teachings have touched your heart, if you wish to continue walking this path where wisdom meets love and generosity turns into grace, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Together, we will keep exploring the timeless truth that the more you give, the more life gives back, and that the greatest form of luck is living in harmony with the flow of compassion that sustains the universe. Inner harmony, the magnet of all good fortune. In the teachings of the Buddha, the root of all experience, joy or sorrow, abundance or lack, lies in the state of one's inner world. The mind is the architect of destiny, and its harmony or turmoil shapes every aspect of external life. The truly lucky person is not someone favored by chance, but one whose inner state vibrates in balance with the natural order. This harmony is the invisible magnet that draws to us the people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with our evolution. It cannot be bought or borrowed, only cultivated through awareness, discipline, and compassion. When the inner world becomes serene, the outer world begins to reflect that serenity in countless forms. The essence of Buddhism teaches that fortune is not something we attract by effort, but something that flows naturally when we live in peace with ourselves and the universe. To understand this principle deeply, we must recognize that the mind is not merely a tool for thought. It is a field of energy, constantly radiating frequencies. Thoughts of fear, anger, or envy generate dissonance. Thoughts of love, gratitude, and understanding generate harmony. The universe responds to these frequencies as an echo responds to sound. When you vibrate with peace, life sends you experiences that resonate with that peace. This is not mysticism. It is a law as precise as gravity. Every cause has its effect, and inner harmony is the highest cause of outward well-being. Inner harmony begins with acceptance. Most people live in a state of internal conflict. They resist who they are, what they feel, or what life presents. This resistance divides the self, creating tension between what is and what is desired. Buddhism calls this suffering. The path to liberation begins when you stop fighting reality and start observing it. When you accept the present moment fully, without judgment, the struggle ceases. You begin to see that peace is not something to be achieved. It is what remains when resistance ends. That peace radiates outward, touching everything you do. Your words become gentle, your actions become clear, and your presence becomes soothing. Others feel it even if they cannot explain why. It is this radiance that we often interpret as good luck, the effortless unfolding of harmony around a peaceful heart. To cultivate such inner peace, one must learn the art of detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means freedom from the tyranny of desire and fear. It is the ability to experience life fully without clinging to it. You can love deeply without trying to possess, work diligently without obsessing over results, and face change without panic. The detached person moves through life with the grace of a dancer, adapting to each rhythm as it comes. This flexibility allows them to flow with the current of events rather than struggle against it. And because they do not resist, they waste no energy. Their actions become precise, timely, and effective, hallmarks of what the world calls luck. Inner harmony is also rooted in self-awareness. Without understanding your own mind, you are a stranger to yourself, constantly reacting to the world instead of responding from clarity. Meditation is the key that unlocks this self-awareness. In stillness, you begin to observe the endless stream of thoughts and emotions that usually control you. As you watch them rise and fall without attachment, you realize that you are not the storm, but the sky behind it. This realization brings profound calm. You no longer take every thought seriously or identify with every emotion. You begin to act from the center rather than the surface, and your decisions become wise. This wisdom creates good karma, right causes that lead inevitably to right effects. Inner harmony cannot exist without self-compassion. The path to peace begins within, and harsh self-judgment is the greatest obstacle. Many people seek kindness from the world while being merciless toward themselves. They carry guilt, regret, and shame like stones in their heart, unaware that these weights distort their energy and block the flow of good fortune. To create harmony, you must learn to forgive yourself. Every mistake was a teacher, every fall a step in awakening. When you replace self-condemnation with understanding, your heart opens. You stop generating the vibrations of conflict and begin to radiate acceptance. That acceptance attracts circumstances that mirror it, people who support you, environments that nourish you, and events that unfold gently rather than harshly. Another pillar of inner harmony is authenticity. The Buddha taught that living in alignment with truth is the foundation of freedom. When your words and actions reflect your deepest values, your energy becomes coherent. There is no inner contradiction, no hidden agenda, no mask. You move through the world transparently, and this transparency invites trust. People sense authenticity even without words. It creates an invisible bond of respect. Opportunities gravitate toward those who are genuine because the universe itself operates on truth. Deception, on the other hand, creates fragmentation. The liar must maintain separate versions of reality, and this dissonance manifests as confusion and misfortune. To live truthfully is to live in harmony with the Dharma, the law of existence itself. Inner harmony also depends on balance between action and rest, solitude and connection, silence and expression. The world today glorifies constant motion, yet without stillness, action becomes chaotic. The wise person alternates between engagement and retreat, understanding that both are necessary for wholeness. Through rest, energy is renewed. Through action, it is expressed. This rhythmic balance mirrors the cycles of nature, the tide, the breath, the beating of the heart. When you honor this rhythm in your life, you align yourself with the cosmic rhythm, and fortune flows naturally. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing them to unfold. Life ceases to be a battle and becomes a dance. A key element of harmony is also gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. It dissolves the illusion of lack and connects you to abundance. Every moment of gratitude is an affirmation that life is enough, that you are enough, that existence itself is a miracle. This recognition raises your vibration, and that vibration reshapes your reality. Opportunities, blessings, and synchronicities begin to appear, not because they were absent before, but because you were blind to them. Gratitude opens the eyes of the soul. It tunes your awareness to beauty, and beauty is always abundant. The grateful heart cannot be unlucky, for it sees fortune in every breath. Buddhism also teaches that harmony requires awareness of impermanence. All things arise, change, and pass away. The problem is not impermanence itself, but our refusal to accept it. We cling to pleasure and resist pain, forgetting that both are fleeting. When you truly internalize impermanence, attachment dissolves and serenity arises. You begin to appreciate life as it is, moment by moment, without trying to make it last or fearing its end. This acceptance liberates immense energy. You stop wasting your vitality on futile control and use it to create, to love, to grow. The more you flow with change, the more life rewards you with renewal. The unchanging heart in the midst of change becomes the still center of fortune. The harmony that attracts good luck also depends on your relationship with others. Every interaction is an exchange of energy, and when your energy is peaceful, you transform your environment. Even difficult people respond differently to one who is calm. Conflict loses its fuel in the presence of composure. This does not mean you never defend yourself or set boundaries. It means you do so without hostility. The calm person's strength is quiet, yet unbreakable, and the world respects it. This respectful energy returns as cooperation, trust, and opportunity. Thus, inner peace becomes the foundation of outer success. In Buddhism, there is also the understanding that the mind and body are one. The state of your body influences the state of your mind, and vice versa. To cultivate inner harmony, you must care for both. Eat with mindfulness, rest adequately, move consciously, and treat your body as the sacred vehicle it is. When your physical energy flows smoothly, your thoughts and emotions stabilize. A neglected body produces restlessness. A balanced one anchors the mind. Even this physical harmony contributes to what appears as good fortune, because clarity and vitality improve the quality of every decision and interaction. The path to harmony is not linear. There will be moments of chaos, doubt, and pain, but Buddhism teaches that even suffering has purpose. It shows us where we are still attached, where the flow of life is blocked. When difficulties arise, the unwise blame fate. The wise look within. Each challenge becomes a mirror reflecting an inner disharmony to be healed. This perspective turns adversity into opportunity. Instead of seeing obstacles as bad luck, you begin to recognize them as teachers guiding you back to balance. In time, you realize that the so-called unlucky events were blessings in disguise, pushing you toward awakening. Meditation on compassion, impermanence, and gratitude are practical tools for restoring harmony. Each breath in meditation is a reminder of the eternal balance between receiving and giving, between life and death, between self and the cosmos. As you breathe consciously, you become the witness of all phenomena, untouched yet engaged, peaceful yet alive. In this state, every action becomes effortless and right. You stop hesitating, second-guessing, or forcing. You act when it is time to act and rest when it is time to rest. This effortless action, or wu-wei, as some Eastern traditions call it, is the hallmark of a life in harmony. Luck follows those who move with life rather than against it. Inner harmony also transforms how you experience time. The anxious mind is always elsewhere, regretting the past or worrying about the future. The peaceful mind lives fully in the present. When you inhabit the now, you align with eternity, for the present moment is infinite. All creativity, insight, and opportunity exist only here. The more deeply you dwell in the present, the more doors open before you. Serendipity becomes natural because you are awake to life's unfolding intelligence. The past no longer binds you, and the future becomes an open field rather than a source of fear. This timeless awareness is the highest form of fortune. The harmony of mind also involves simplifying life. Modern society equates complexity with progress, but the wise know that simplicity is strength. The fewer attachments you have, the freer your mind becomes. You begin to discover joy in ordinary moments. A sunrise, a conversation, a cup of tea. The simple life reduces distractions and leaves space for peace to grow. In that peace, your intuition sharpens, and you begin to sense what truly matters. Decision-making becomes easy because your heart is uncluttered. Life rewards simplicity with clarity, and clarity creates results that others mistake for luck. Another dimension of inner harmony is patience. The universe moves in cycles, and the seeds you plant through right thought and action need time to mature. Impatience disturbs this process. When you demand immediate results, you create tension and block the flow of energy. The patient mind, however, remains calm, trusting that every cause produces its effect in the right time. Patience aligns you with the rhythm of the universe. It keeps you stable amid uncertainty. This stability is a powerful magnet for fortune because it communicates faith. The universe mirrors faith with abundance, just as it mirrors fear with lack. As your inner harmony deepens, you begin to perceive synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences that weave through life. You meet the right person just when you need guidance, find the book that answers your question, or encounter opportunities that seem designed for you. These are not accidents. They are reflections of your alignment. When your consciousness resonates with the order of existence, the boundaries between inner and outer dissolve. Life becomes a dialogue rather than a struggle. You send out peace and receive peace in return. You think clearly, act compassionately, and fortune follows naturally. The ultimate harmony comes from realizing the emptiness of self, the insight that there is no fixed I separate from the rest of existence. This realization does not erase individuality, it liberates it from isolation. You see that you are not a drop in the ocean, but the ocean expressing itself as a drop. Fear dissolves because there is nothing outside you to threaten you. Desire dissolves because you already are everything you seek. In this state, life flows through you unhindered. Every action becomes spontaneous and perfect, every encounter meaningful, every day a miracle. To live in such awareness is to live in continuous blessing. The path toward this realization is gradual, built on daily practice. Each time you choose mindfulness over distraction, compassion over anger, gratitude over complaint, you move closer to harmony. Each moment of awareness strengthens the connection between your inner state and the rhythm of the cosmos. Slowly, you stop being the doer and become the witness through whom life acts effortlessly. When you live like this, there is no need to chase good fortune because you have become its source. You are the calm center around which the universe organizes itself. In this understanding, Buddhism transforms the very meaning of luck. Luck is no longer something you wait for, but something you embody. It is the fragrance of inner balance, the reflection of peace on the mirror of life. The more you cultivate harmony, the more blessings unfold, not as rewards, but as natural expressions of your vibration. Health improves, relationships deepen, creativity blossoms, and opportunities flow. But these are byproducts, not goals. The true reward is the serenity itself, the unshakable peace that remains unmoved by success or failure, gain or loss. In the end, the teaching is simple. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. To change your fortune, change your energy. To change your energy, bring your mind into harmony with truth. Live with awareness, act with love, speak with kindness, and move with balance. In doing so, you will discover that luck has never been random. It has always been the echo of your own consciousness calling back to you. So let this be the daily practice. Begin each morning by centering yourself in stillness. Breathe deeply, remember gratitude, and set the intention to live in harmony with all beings. As you go about your day, carry this stillness within you. When challenges arise, return to your breath. When joy visits, savor it without clinging. When others cross your path, treat them with kindness, seeing the same divine essence that lives in you. In this way, you turn each moment into a seed of good karma, each breath into a prayer of alignment. When night comes, reflect on the day without judgment. Forgive yourself for mistakes, give thanks for lessons, and rest in the peace of awareness. Over time, this cycle of mindful living becomes your natural rhythm. You no longer need to seek fortune because your life itself becomes a continuous blessing. This is the essence of how Buddhism teaches you to create good luck every day, not by chance, but by consciousness. Luck is not something that visits you, it is something that you awaken within yourself. It is born from the calm of your mind, the kindness of your heart, and the harmony of your spirit with the universe. When these three are aligned, every step you take, every word you speak, every breath you breathe becomes an act of creation. You cease to wait for blessings and become the source of them. If these words have illuminated something within you, if they have reminded you of your power to create fortune from peace and harmony, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Continue this journey with us, a journey toward inner calm, wisdom, and the unending flow of blessings that arise when you live in tune with the universe. Each teaching brings you closer to the truth that good luck is not an accident. It is the natural state of a heart at peace.